people are looking for more, looking for something better, looking for better opportunities. Like, gosh, if I wasn't here, if I were working over there, I'd be making so much more money, things would be so much better. Getting ahead, clawing your way to the top. The corner office, the home in the suburbs, the Bugatti, or whatever the newest car is. And I've kind of wanted to turn that idea of success on its head, almost intentionally. Just give me enough to get by, and let me focus on outward.
I got it's kind of never started an interview this way before, but I thought I might help you remember some stuff. I got some photos. I want you to look through them and tell me about them.
Oh my God. This is, gosh, when the heck was that? I was in college, I think.
That haircut.
Yeah, nice hairstyle. He's mom and dad. Golly. I was Fatso in the family. That was my nickname. So I was kind of the fat, jolly kid. What's up, Cam? Shaking the neck. This is Christmas at Uncle Joe's. We went there every Christmas. Meals were huge. I mean, they'd be going for hours. And your family wasn't just something that you kind of had for a while, then you kind of chugged. It was really important. And I thought as a high school senior, I'm sick of school and studying. I want to get out, get to college, get my degree, and work as an engineer for some years, and we'll go into management, make a ton of money, and be at the golf course and all this kind of stuff. It'd be a great life. That was my goal.
The Nuba Mountains are one of the most remote places in the world. It's between the Sahara Desert in the north and the Sud, or the world's largest swamp, in the south.
677 سنة جدود بتاعنا لما حكموا أفريقيا ذاته قويين اكتبوا قولوا في حياة هنا حياة كاف الناس بتاعنا تعبانين نحن ما نتكل زول تاني الناس في الجبال فوق لكننا بنزرع بناكل بنشاكل.
When I was in college, I would say I fell in with a group called the Campus Crusade for Christ, which is an evangelical group. I'm Roman Catholic. They talked about mission work, and they talked about, what's it like to be Christian? What does that mean? Like, is this something important or not to you? I remember us coming back from my great aunt's funeral. It was just Felix and I in the car. I said, Felix, I should go into medicine. Just the idea kind of popped in my head. And he said, what? He said, you're an engineer and you got a job now. Like, what are you talking about? I said, no, I don't want to do that. I said, I want to go into medicine. He's like, you're crazy. Ended up, getting accepted in medical school after a long period of time. And this idea kind of got in my brain about doing mission work. I had no idea what that meant. And I remember, at that time, I had a girlfriend. I really cared for this woman. He's like, Tom, I don't want that. I want the white picket fence. I want stability. I need a, husband's going to be around. I thought, well, I'm sorry. So we broke up. I remember when I first arrived in eastern Kenya, I was met by Sister Bridget, and she said, Tom, you're so welcome. I'm glad to hear that you've decided to come for 2 years. We really need the help. I thought, okay, I guess I'm staying for 2 years. The work was interesting, but for me, I wanted something more difficult. Let me just go somewhere where there's really a huge need. I literally came up here for 2 days, and the needs were tremendous.
وقابلناه وهو لقيناه ده زول بتاع معنا أصدقاء في البلد بتاعنا هنا.
There's no enchantment anymore in the Western world. We're technical as a scientific solution to everything. And this place is totally the opposite. It's like there's enchantment. The work was all-consuming. There wasn't time for anything else. I missed the family. I missed being around them. People were getting married. My brothers started having kids. And it was painful. It was really painful. I thought, no, I got to follow this thing through. These people have been pretty badly traumatized. They've had a history that I just cannot relate to. I mean, they are incredible survivors, and they keep pushing ahead.
ظروف ده نحن مرينا في ظروف بطال مرينا في ظروف بطال دايرين حرية دايرين استقرار وكلام ده ما تم عشان اجي بحرق البيوت بحرق الزرق تلقى هنا ومرق هنا ومرق هنا ومرق هنا.
It was totally unjustified, totally senseless. It was still fear, drive people out, push people away from here. But what a waste of humanity.
ناس كتير في ناس ماتوا بجوع في ناس ماتوا بالجنوب. مرة الطائرة دار يقتل دكتور توم تعرف قريب بس جلا بيت نحن وقت ده قلنا خلاص دكتور توم خلاص بكون بكاف بمشي خلاص.
The expatriates had all the corporate knowledge of the hospital, how to run a ward, how to run the pharmacy, how to run an operating room. They all left. My thoughts, and the same as sisters had, is, hey, we're here as missionaries. This is a time that the people actually need us.
لكن دكتور توم قوي قال أنا ما بخلي نوبة عشان كده أنا مبسوطين من الدكتور.
We called the staff together and we said we're not gonna close. He said it's up to you guys now. You know, you've had some training, you've been here as on the job trained. You got to carry on with the work here because all these people are depending on us.
This is a really hard place. Surviving here through war times, the isolation. There were times where I would visit on an annual basis and he will not have seen a single outside visitor for a year.
The fighting was pretty heavy. The work was crazy busy. We're always in crisis mode. We're just trying to survive. It's like, how do we just keep this place going? Make sure we have power, make sure we have water, make sure we have enough drugs, enough sutures. We just kind of keep going. People here are survivors. No matter what you throw at them, they'll be knocked down, they'll get back up again, and they'll find a way to keep going ahead.
ترتم وكويس وتعبان نهار بالليل هسه هو كبير خلاص في العمر ولو في تاني دكتور توم 2 أو 3 يكون كويس.
If he would have fallen ill and died from malaria or tuberculosis or been killed from the violence, the hospital would probably not be here. Like all of us, we have a limited lifespan, and he wanted to have something survive him.
At first, we didn't have anybody we could even send to school, because the schools, they all required that a person finished high school. And when we first opened, there were no high school graduates here. Now, the fighting stops. Let's get out of survival mode. Let's start really thriving. Let's think about starting our own training program, which is what mission hospitals have done for 100 years. You start your own training program, they finish, you've got a really reliable pool of people to carry on with your work. That's where we want to be.
ودكتور توم لو ذاته لو علمهم تعليم كويس يكون كويس.
The other component, a really important component of long-term stability here is Tom's long-term stability.
I mean, I never kind of said 100% I don't want to marry. And I thought, well, I think there's no time for anything else. I think I'll just give up that thought that I'll marry at some point and have kids and all this. I'm already in my 40s. Let me just forget that, kind of put it on my mind.
So tell me, what is your first memory of meeting Dr. Tom?
Oh yeah. At first I don't know. It's a kind of like little bit afraid of him.
First time I saw her, she showed up. She was working in the outpatient, and she was complaining about one of their staff. This guy is doing this and that. He's not doing his job. Like, who the heck is this lady? Making all this fuss. Anyway, she was there. Then she was on the ward for a while, and she was kind of the one bright spot. I thought she was very beautiful and all that sort of stuff, but just really enjoyed being around her. You know, always felt comfortable. We could joke and laugh and chat with and feel like a normal person. Otherwise, it was just work.
I fell in love with him because he's a very simple guy, and I like his simplicity a lot. He came from America, supposed to be like, oh my God, I am big person, I am like this, but he just want to live the life he lived and die as poor man. So he's a very funny guy, but I love him because despite the challenges and everything here, he love people here the way they are. He loved them.
A-levels like that.
Francis actually turned our life completely in a good way. He brought a lot of happiness.
Today is a little known insect known as the bumblebee.
I think the Nuba Mountains are actually a very hopeful place for the future. They're just about to graduate their first year clinical staff training here, and it's just so hopeful.
I want to thank you, students, for the great effort you have made. Can we clap for ourselves? When we started, I'm sure some of you did not think that you'll reach to this end. Is it not true? But all of you, you have struggled. It's a new start in Nuba Mountains. You are our pride. You are our pride because my hands are two. By training you, we are multiplying these hands to serve and save many lives. My two hands has been already multiplied to 40 hands extra in 1 year. So that's a joy for us.
When we first started, we had 15 Nuba staff. The one with the highest education level had finished 8th grade. Now, 15 years later, the clinical school is up and going. We're training clinical officers. We want to take on more clinics in the rural areas and support those clinics with both medicines and then with clinical officers and midwives that we've trained. So now, not only are we surviving, but we are a leader in healthcare for not only Nuba Mountains, but for all of Sudan. Open your hand a bit. Hold it back there. That's it. Like that.
Like that?
Yeah. No, step forward. Through.
This one?
Yeah. Use one hand. Oh, Francis, not like that.
With one hand?
Make your hand big. Make your hand big. Now put it on there. Yeah, like that. Now throw it. Yeah. I'll take a step. Step forward.
ما عندكم دكاترة كتير هناك في أمريكا. دكاترة بوجد هنا معنا. ما بمشي أمريكا.
It's just a wonderful story. Tom's life is just seeing somebody committed and following through on their values. It inspires me to do the same. He has a bucket bath every night, has a little solar lamp to get her by. He has enough food. He's got his family. He has fulfilling work. He is the happiest person I know.
I don't know how much I can say, but I may say something little that I know about him. All the glory of this world is not interested in it. All what he wanted to do the work of God. Like, it's not someone who is crazy about wealthy, about richness, about what. He's just crazy about what he does. This is what I just know from him.
Vikings, number 85.
What do you think someone can learn from your life?
I think, I do think the more you give up and the less you have, the happier you are. everybody's always looking for greener pastures, or the grass is always greener on the other side. How do we upend this thing and say, I'm going to reject that. Say, I voluntarily, you pay me less. Stop giving me this money. I don't want stuff. Don't give me stuff. Just give me enough to get by, and let me focus on outward. Like, try it. If you feel like, oh God, I would have rather had that motorcycle, that car, then okay. But give it a shot. I think people don't do it. Because culturally, you're kind of weird. It's like, what are you doing, man? Like, you could have a car. Well, I don't want a car. Back there.